start a little mini series where I show you how I made these albums for my kids. These are from our vacation last summer. We went to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee and Gatlinburg. And so I wanted to do just a little book documenting that. It was our first big family trip. So I followed a tutorial that Sarah Elliott did on her channel, and it's just basically where your pages are attached by these baker twine, and it's just wrapped through here. So you choose your paper size, and I think mine are, let's see, they are 10 by 6, so folded it's a 6 by 5 page, and that's plenty big from when I print out my pictures for my selfie. I print them at the small 3 by 2, so it's perfect. And then your pages just go into underneath your twine here, or ribbon or string, whatever you're using, and they just go in there like so, and you've got yourself a page. So I just went ahead and I put a bunch of different papers in there, and then I have laid out, you know, every day what we did, and I'm gonna build from there. So I did one for my daughter, one for my son, and I'm using the Paper Packs Go See Explore by Echo Park. And then I had 2 of the Boarding Pass by Photoplay. So I had plenty of those to use. And where it doesn't look like they really match together, they do. These yellows are a little bit bright, but I can make them work, maybe by covering up most of that page or something like that. But they were both really cute travel themed papers that I really like, so that's what I use there. And when I do my processes, I try to do them together. That way I'm using the same embellishments up and I don't have any extras or whatever there. But yeah, so come along and see how I put this all together. Thanks. Okay, so I'm just flipping back through the book here, showing you how it was done with that baker's twine again. Such a cute idea. And it actually is staying pretty well. I thought that it would be kind of all loosey-goosey, but it's really not. I've got it tied really, really tight. So I'm going to get started and see how I want to decorate the front of these albums. And that 6 by 6 pad was just a little bit too short. So I'm going to go through the papers here and see what I like. I have that Tennessee cut on the side there, and that's cut from my Cameo. So I'm just kind of seeing what I can put behind there that's going to really make the word Tennessee pop out. And I like this red one, and this other one is a white background with kind of yellow starburst looking shapes. So here I measure my thing, and what did I tell you? Measure once, no, measure twice, cut once. I'm pretty sure I did the opposite. I measured once, cut twice. So it was a little too big at first, which is fine. I just cut it down a little bit. But then you'll see here in a second, when I go to cut the second one, I make sure that I measure off of that first one first. That way it's just less of a hassle having to go back and try to trim off just the right amount. So I get these laid down here, and then I'm going to continue building the front of these albums. And I put the papers in exactly the same, like I mentioned in the beginning. One is for my son and one is for my daughter. So I am kind of making them the same but different in their own sense, where his will have pictures of him, hers will have pictures of her, in addition to like the family photos or the group photos. But I kind of keep them, like I said, I keep them the same, but I'm trying to keep them a little different too, if that makes any sense at all. So I went through my giant stash of Project Life cards, and I found these, and I think they're from 7 Paper. I don't have it in front of me, but they're cute little cards where it says date, just like to describe the day. I can't remember what else it says, I'm sorry. But I flip through and I find this really dark, pretty gray one, and then there's this reddish color here. But up against the red on that other papers, it really turned orange, so I didn't like that at all. So I had pulled out this light beige one to put with the yellow, but you'll see in a little bit I do change that up. In the die cut packs for this collection, there was these little banner flags that spell out trip. So I knew I wanted to put that on my first page there, because the first page was going to be a picture of the group of us in the van ready to go, and then one of each of the kids either playing in the car or sleeping in the car. So I got my photos there, and on the left I had also put that word summer there in the box. I had cut that out in intentions of putting them on the front of the album, but it wasn't big or like thick enough to really stand out, so it fit perfect right there, and I love how that looks. This trip didn't stand out so much on the background, so I was trying to find something, maybe like a flag to stick it on or something, but I wasn't liking that either. So then I decided I'm going to mat my photos, and I'm matting them kind of together here. And you guys know that I don't cut things, because I can't cut straight. I don't know what it is. So I do kind of cut that up there, and it doesn't look horrible. You can tell I cut it, which is fine. But I like that navy blue behind those photos. It really makes it stand up off of that road sign paper. And see there, I'm going to cut across the top there and cheat a little bit. And then, so there's this little space underneath the photos that's kind of an open square. And I'm going to check out my sticker sheets here. Now remember, I have 2 of the Border Pass from Echo Park. No, Photo Play. And just 1 of the others. So anything from that Border Pass sticker sheet I can double up and use in each one. They're going to be a little different when it comes to the others, because I only have the 1 sheet. But that's okay. It's perfect. So I find this red geotag, and then the die cut that has a little car on it, and it says go. And I'm going to layer my words up there. And I kind of was wondering if I wanted them hanging from the top, because they are kind of like a banner. But in the end, I'm going to pull out my little box of tiny letters here. I was really, really obsessed with these at one time, especially when I was doing Project Life, I guess full-time you could say. So I find these red ones. You see me there. Not enough letters, of course. But way at the bottom of the box was this other sheet of red ones. So I am able to use those, and I'm going to use them to write the word road. And on here, they don't stand out so much, but in real life, you can really see that, you know, it says road. And then I'm going to layer my trip next to it. So, road trip. We had a lot of fun, even though it was an 8-hour trip in June through Ohio, Kentucky, and then Tennessee with no air conditioning in my van. It really wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be, and the kids were excellent. They were really, really good. I had a lot of stuff for them to do, and they actually watched movies and slept a lot, so it was perfect. So I kind of layered those down there, just kind of thrown on top of each other a little bit. And then here I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to her book. I don't make you watch all that because it's pretty much the same thing. I'm going to layer up the photos and put those on a piece here. I'm looking for something a little different than the navy. And I grabbed this red check that's similar to the top book there on the left. But it had those cute cutter parts on it, the tiny cutter parts, and I wanted to be able to use those little cutter parts, so I put that aside, and I grabbed the 12 by 12 piece there of the red check, and I'm going to go ahead and use that to put behind my pictures. These have been actually a lot of fun to put together on like the smaller scale. You know, I just sat one night and printed out all my pictures, wrote down exactly what's going to go on each page, you know, what we did each day and everything, and what I had pictures for, and kind of working on a smaller scale. You know, it's going a little faster, and it's just a little different being that it's not giant 12 by 12 page. So there I go, cutting again, and they come out okay. That helped a little because I had the lines from the check. So there I went ahead and I put road down and layered up her trip. And now I'm going to start looking for little stickers to put down for the date. And I really wanted to use those glitter black ones, but I didn't have anything that I needed. So I dug out this sticker book, and I want to say it's Me and My Big Ideas. I'd have to double check. But it's all just I think it's for planners, but it's a bunch of letters and numbers. So I go ahead and I use these dark black ones for the first one here. And I'm going to start by putting I wanted to put June 11th, but in the end you'll see that I don't have room to write out June. So I'm putting down the 11 now, getting ready to do the 2018, and I realize we didn't just go on June 11th. We went June 11th through the 14th. So I can't just put the 11th on there because that's just weird. It wasn't one day. So you'll see me here in a minute move them around so that I can fit June 11th through the 14th. And that's where I'm going to start to pull up. And actually I just add the 4 to the end and then move that very first one over and then get another one out and plop it on there. And then that's where I realized I don't have enough room to write out June. So I just grab the 6 and put that there for the date. I like using my pokey tool there. That's my Tim Holtz pokey tool. It's used for like brads and things like that to poke through your paper. But my fingers just get in the way, and it's so easy just to grab them up with that little pokey tool and set them down. That way you can kind of position them any way you want. It just makes it so much easier. So now I'm going to look for the letters. I thought I changed this one out. Yeah, here's where I'm still debating if I like that light beige color, and it just kind of faded in too much. So I go ahead and just grab the dark gray like in the first book there, and I'm going to use that one. And here's a funny thing. Always check what you have before you start plopping them down. So I already know I'm going to put 6, 11 through 14, and there's not another 1. So I can't really put 2018 or even 18 because there was no more 1s, and the eyes were completely different looking than the 1s. So what I did was I flipped back through, and these are actually a red. They're kind of showing up pink here, but they're a red color, so I can put my whole date down with those. And that's the same font as that first card that I did. So now I'm just seeing how I can finish up the front part of this. And I'm going to go ahead and glue down this state of Tennessee that has Tennessee cut out of it. And towards the bottom there I have a die cut that says vacation. And I'm really sorry about my mess. I didn't realize how much, well, I mean, I know how much of a mess I make when I scrap, but that's how I am. I'm sorry. I'm a messy scrapper, and I'm trying to keep that out of the videos as much as possible. But sometimes I just get going and I forget what I'm doing, and that's how I work best, is with a mess. So I hope it's not too distracting. I'm just getting everything laid down there, and I think I was showing you that I'm going to write in there. So I made my 11-year-old son come over and write his name. He couldn't be bothered to take his headphones off or anything, you know. So I get him to write his name, and then the other box, I don't remember what it says, I'm sorry. But I had him write, oh, describe your day. And so I made him choose a word other than fun, and he wrote exciting. And then there's my 7-year-old daughter writing her name, and her word to describe the trip was fun. So I had them write that. And I wanted them to use that box below to write more, but neither one of them would. So what I end up doing off camera is I write all the things that we did, whether it was seeing the mountains, the wax museum. I just kind of listed everything there of what we did on our trip. And I like how that comes out. It kind of summarizes it on the first page there. And so that's nearing the end of this section of doing my first 2 pages. And stay tuned as I show you how I work on the next few pages at a time. Still pictures are coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.